Government officials are investigating using the Forth Road Bridge in an emergency as it takes action to try and overcome issues with falling ice from the Queensferry Crossing. The £1.3 billion bridge was reopened yesterday after being shut for 2 days after icicles hit 8 cars. The Scottish Government came under fire for failing to take sufficient action over the issue after 3 cars were struck by ice falling from crossing cables in March last year. Plans are in place to fit ice sensors on the bridge to give early detection of accumulations, with current procedures to guard against dangerous ice buildups involving the use of binoculars. But some MSPs have raised concerns with Transport Scotland that the Forth Road Bridge was unavailable to those motorists affected by the Queensferry Crossing closure, with drivers facing a 34-mile detour via the Kincardine Bridge. Traffic could not be diverted over the Forth Road Bridge as it has now become a public transport corridor, meaning general traffic cannot cross. Now it has been confirmed that an investigation has been launched into whether it is feasible to reopen the Forth Road Bridge to general traffic in emergencies. Michael Matheson, the Transport Secretary, has previously stated that the purpose of the Queensferry Crossing was to replace the Forth Road Bridge and provide a more resilient and reliable crossing for traffic. Shirley Ann Somerville, the SNP MSP for Dunfermline, who met with Mr Matheson yesterday morning, said they had discussed the role of the Forth Road Bridge as a contingency. Ms Somerville, who is the Cabinet Secretary for Social Security and Older People, added, "This wasn't possible this time as major work is underway, but he has instructed officials to look at what can be put in place to ensure it is available in the future should this situation arise again." This reopening is a relief to commuters and all those living on diversion routes. Thanks to all those who could take up additional public transport, and for the patience of those who had no alternative but to use the diversion route. It is important that when addressing the matter, Transport Scotland understand that any contingency plans must recognise the disruption caused to those who live in Kincardine and other villages along the A985 and other affected routes. The Queen opened the bridge in August 2017. James Donnan, the Glasgow Cathcart SNP MSP, was among those who defended the Scottish Government's position, pointing out on social media that there were other bridges that had been shut during the weekend across the UK and adding, "Seriously, I wish some of our opponents would grow up. This line of attack is utterly ridiculous." Before the bridge, described as the result of the biggest infrastructure project in Scotland in a generation, was open. For more on this story, visit the news article link.